Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I have an unboxing of the Spellbinders Santa Lane Christmas kit. This is a mega kit. So this, if you are a monthly card kit subscriber, this will not come to you automatically. So if you want this, you'll need to purchase it separately, and if you are not a subscriber, you don't have to actually sign up for a subscription to get this. It's just available as a one-off purchase. I have crafted with the holiday mega kits before in the past, and they are fantastic. Awesome value for money. And in fact, I did a mega flip video of one of the kits. I think it was Be Merry. I'll link to that in the upper right hand corner if I can remember when I post this video, but it's fantastic. So let's just dive in and let me show you what all comes in here. It does come beautifully packaged, but I did take some of the items out of their packaging just to make it a little bit easier to show. So off the top here, there's a inspiration card and there are the contents of your kit. So be sure to check this out. Make sure that you got everything you're supposed to. If there's something in the box you don't know exactly what that is, you might be able to map it to something on this list. If you are short of something, which I've never found to be the case with Spellbinders kits, you can always contact customer service. They're really fantastic. Then we have on the back a card that you can create, and more importantly, it actually shows you how to assemble the die set that comes in this kit. So that's already a sneaky peek at something that you'll be getting in here. And this die set is fantastic because look at the cute Santa you can be creating. Also, he can be pulling a sleigh with a little snowman friend and some presents as well. And so this gives you photo step-by-step instructions for how to assemble and which dies you need to assemble each of the elements. So it's really fantastic. You can see exactly which dies that you need and then how the finished assembly looks like. So that's really fantastic. So hold on to this so that you can always refer back to that when you need. Then diving into the papers. So we get a generous supply. This is a 18 sheet paper pack. It's 8.5 by 11 sheets of solid color cardstock and some specialty papers as well. I should say specialty cardstock. This is solid core. If I had to guess, maybe 65, possibly 80-pound cover weight. So really nice quality, good layering weight as well. Then let's see, look, so you get so many different colors. But I'm glad that they had the forethought to give us a couple of sheets of red, which being the holidays, it's probably the one I'll use the most of, and then a couple sheets of white, which again, very versatile because you could be making extra card bases if you want. You can stamp in color if you want, so that's really fantastic. And then on the back here, we get 2 sheets of your gold foil mirror card and then 2 sheets of silver foil mirror card. So that's awesome. And look at the variety of color that we get here. So you can go traditional colors scheme for your holiday cards. I see some fall colors too, like the brown, the orange, and the maroon. So really, this is just a very versatile collection of colors here. You could do just winter themed, maybe birthdays, doesn't even have to be a holiday at all. So really lovely and great for the rest of coordinating with the rest of the pack as well, because speaking of papers, we also do get a 6x6 paper pad. So here we have 40 sheets. There are 20 designs. So you'll see for each of the 20 designs, you're going to get 2 sheets. And within the 40 sheets, 6 of them will be foiled. So let me give you a quick flip through. And these are really lovely. It is paper, bearing in mind the weight. It is a little bit thinner, single-sided, but gorgeous. And I love that there are lots of patterns and prints in here that you don't even necessarily have to use for the holidays. You could save them to use throughout the year. Like this is just a really nice polka dot pattern. And here's the first foil design. You can see that shine. And I really love, yeah, I think I would say most of these are not super holiday. And I really appreciate when paper pads are designed where you get some geometrics, you get some florals, you get some dark prints, you get some light prints, you get small repeat patterns, you get larger, you know, images. Like this one you could use as a scrapbook page almost. And so a really good variety. Here's the next foiled one. You can see that shine. And the reason why that's important to me is because I do like, when I can, I like to actually combine multiple sheets of pattern paper onto, that's the last one with foil. You can see the thin stripes there. Multiple pattern papers onto one card design. And to do that, if all of the paper designs are too similar, your eye has a really hard time knowing what to focus on. So like take for instance these two. They're both stripes. They're about the same kind of thickness in stripes. So, you know, this one's more colorful, so your eye is probably going to go here first. This has more white, so maybe your eye also goes here first for that reason. But when things are a little bit too similar, it's hard for your eyes to know where to go. So take for instance a nice pattern like this with the large pattern. I would maybe like to combine it with something that is, you know, even something like that would be nice because it's light, whereas that one is a little bit more dark. Pairing it with something monochromatic might be nice, and I love that there are some things that are monochromatic. That might be lovely too. That way the red really pops against that. And even that would be really lovely because they're both dark, but this is such a fine repeat detail. And this does have multiple colors, which picks up everything so well coordinated. But you can see when you put these two together side by side, your eye will naturally go here first because it's the larger print. It has larger areas that are really vibrant in color, like the reds. And then as your eye starts to take in the rest of the card, it starts to go to maybe this pattern, which has some lovely texture and is nicer than just a plain, you know, black piece of cardstock. So that's how I like to, you know, think about my pattern papers when I'm selecting them to go together. So just for another really quick example, because I saw that one and this one. So here's two pattern papers where I don't think I would use both of these on the same card without anything else. Maybe if there was some solid cardstock between, but this illustrates more of what I was saying, where if the patterns are about the same size, like the graphic is about the same size in both, they're both onto essentially white. This has a more like wood grain effect in that white background. This has a more grid effect when you look at it up close, but overall the impression is that they're both on a white background. So together, your eye doesn't know which to look at. Whereas if you took this and instead paired it with something like, you know, even something more monochromatic, but because it's more dark, your eye will go to something more light first, and then to the darker areas. Generally, not everybody's the same, but generally. So, you know, something like that might work. So, and even something like that would be kind of fun too. Like red is a very bright color and typically would pull your attention, but that's going to stand up against this. And so, you know, whether you see red first because the color is what draws you, or if you see this first because the pattern and the lightness draws you, there's an order. You're going to see one and then you'll see the rest, as opposed to the eye just taking it all in as one. So that's just, I'm not a student of art or design or anything. That's just kind of my own approach to how I look at the paper pads and how I think about combining multiple patterns onto one card. So then moving on to what else is in this kit, we have a set of 13 card bases and coordinating envelopes. These are USA 2 in size, so 4¼ by 5½. Then we also have another set of card bases. These are 5 by 7 with their envelopes, and there's going to be 12 of these. So that's really fantastic for me anyways, because these are the two that I am creating the most often. So for me, that's super, super ideal. Then you also have your adhesive, really important, and love that you get the two types. So you get your foam squares pre-cut. If you want to add a little bit of dimension, if you want to keep everything nice and flat, then you've got your roll of double-sided adhesive tape as well. So that's wonderful. And then we also have, so that sort of provides maybe a base to start building your cards from. And then we start looking at ways to kind of design and add sentiments and images to your card. So we've got a set of stickers here. So here's some sentiment puffy stickers. Love that we get the nice scripty font, and then you get some sub-sentiments as well. We get some of these gorgeous puffy snowflakes and stars, all different sizes, different patterns. So I love that you can actually mix and match, combine multiples of these. Then we have, these are actually foam glitter letters, and you do have numbers down here, at least one full set of numbers, some punctuation marks as well. And also, some of the letters are repeat. So, for example, look at how many A's you get versus how many C's, for example. So they've, given you some extras for letters that you might use more often. That way you can kind of spell out more words. Great way to personalize a card as well. For example, maybe adding somebody's name to a card, or adding their initials, for example. Then we get some more stickers. So these stickers are a little bit different. They're actual, could be your focal images. So this set here, these are chipboard, so they're nice and sturdy. And there's front and back, and you can kind of see some of the designs here are mimicked. So you'll see a lot of that. That way you can kind of create the same or similar cards, just, using the different elements. You see the fireplace here. The difference between the two of these is where you see the similar designs. These are chipboard, so still pretty flat. And they are adhesive backed already, so easy to use. However, these ones are, they're very dimensional because they actually have foam. It's kind of hard to see it, but there's actually foam here. And for most of them, it's actually 2 layers of foam, and that's what gives you that dimensionality. So really, really lovely. 2 different looks. So you kind of see how these envelopes in the package here, they're attached onto the mailbox with some foam. So that just makes them kind of, sit a little bit more forward and a little bit different than your flat cards, but you may need to pay attention to postage and any extra costs if your card becomes too thick. So, as with all card making kits, you get ephemera, and the ephemera is fantastic because you'll find in here lovely die cut, already pre-cut, and you can already see some of the imagery you'll find in your stickers as well, so you might be able to find them in die cut form too. And then you're gonna get it already, I can tell here, a lot of sentiments as well. So here's another place to be getting the sentiments that you can place on your card. And a normal card making kit would have 1 pack, and here we're getting 2. So that's fantastic. And you can see how generous a supply. I'm not going to open it and go through everything, but that is part of the fun of these kits. One of the things I really appreciate about the Spellbinders kits is that you'll often find something that's just a little bit eclectic, I think. For example, I'm really into board games, and I remember I'm not sure exactly which kit, but the kit wasn't board game themed at all. But in the ephemera pack, there were things like dice, domino pieces, playing cards, things like that, which I thought were really, really fun and still coordinated beautifully with everything. So if you're making cards for somebody who does have an interest that maybe you wouldn't often see a lot of card making supplies for, then it's always a nice surprise to find them within these die cut packs, these ephemera packs. So I really enjoy looking through these and just discovering what all fun bits are in there. And we're not done yet. So then that gives you your sentiments, lots of different ways to get your sentiments, lots of different focal image choices there. And then maybe as a final touch, you can be adding some bling and some sparkle. So we have a pack of sequins, gold sequins. And I did look at these. There's actually at least 2 different size sequins in here. So that's really great. And then these are your faceted gemstones in 4 different colors. Each color has 3 different sizes. And you can see that one looks very glittery. Some of the other ones look like they have more of that mica kind of shine. So, which is like a little bit more pearlescent. They're all really lovely. So, really fantastic. The sequin pack, I think, is fairly generous. That's quite a lot. So it just depends on how you use it, actually, because I could actually use this whole thing on one shaker card. But if you make little shaker pouches, I can link to a video in the upper right-hand corner where I've made smaller shaker pouches just for little areas, and they're still relatively flat, those cards. But what I sometimes do is I just use like maybe a handful, like 3 or 5, to individually place on a card as if I was using gemstones, but instead using sequins, and that keeps it nice and flat as well. So you can see if you're only using 3 to 5 at a time, that's 5 right there compared to everything else. So you can see if you're using them individually as little accents on cards, this will last you a very, very long time. But have fun with it. Make some shaker cards too, because that's always fun as well. So there are your embellishments, and I've sort of saved my favorite for last, and that is the stamp and die set. So you already kind of got a sneaky peek at the die set, so I'll pull that out. I'm not going to open it, but basically you'll have all of the dies necessary to die cut and create your own Santa, a little snowman with a knit cap, sleigh, some presents, and you have the solid color cardstock that you can die cut from, but it's always an option to also die cut out of light and then color it with whatever coloring medium you prefer. I like to die cut out of solid color cardstock because I feel like that's faster for me personally. But there's your die set, and then the stamp set is gorgeous as well. You get a lot of sentiments, and I love when they sort of mix and match the fonts and have that sort of scripty font along with kind of your more standard like serif or sans serif font. And so that's really, really lovely. I feel like this is all one stamp, I think. It looks like, yeah. May the holiday season fill your home with joy, your heart with love, and your life with peace. That's gorgeous. And that would be great for the inside of your card too, which I don't have a lot of those nice verse stamps to go on the inside of a card. So I really love that. The font is a little small, but still I think it's very, very lovely. And then along with all the sentiments, I won't read them all out, but along with them, you get this lovely kind of a fawn and some snowflakes and stars. And when I see little stamps like these ones, I always think to stamp my own background. Or with these, what would be lovely is to stamp out a background and maybe emboss. So you could do like a gold emboss, or you could do a white emboss with the snowflakes and then ink up and do a little bit of that embossed resist effect. You could ink up a night sky, but embossed in white, these little snowflakes would stay white. So that's an idea too. So that is what all comes in the Santa Lane card making Christmas kit. So when I craft with this, I don't know whether I'll be flipping this kit, or I actually thought that maybe I would try out Kendra's card challenge. If you're familiar with that, let me know if there's one or the other that you might prefer seeing. If you're not familiar with Kendra's card challenge, I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description box below so you can check it out. But basically the idea is that she provides some templates for using 6 sheets of 6x6 pattern paper, and then she gives you card designs where you can make 15 cards. So I think a kit like this is fantastic for a project like that, or for a challenge like that. So I've never done her card challenge either, and so I'm very curious to try it out. So let me know in the comments if you have any feelings one way or the other. If I see your comments before I actually craft with this kit, then I'll definitely factor that in. But whenever I do craft with this kit, I'll be sure to link to that video at the end of this one. Thank you so much, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.